Good day and welcome to Trending Update USA. I'm Stefan, and today we are unpacking explosive statements from Coco Gauff that have shaken the sports world to its core. The young American tennis star, one of the most promising athletes of her generation, has made a strongly worded and emotionally charged claim against the gender wage gap in tennis, using real-world examples from top WTA competitors including Pegula Sabalenka, Iga Swiatek, and Jessica Pegula. This isn't just tennis talk anymore. This is a seismic push for equality, fairness, and wages that match excellence. And Coco Gauff has stepped boldly into the center of that movement. For years, tennis has been praised as one of the more progressive sports when it comes to gender equality. But while prize money at major tournaments like the US Open and Wimbledon is equal, Coco Gauff raises an important point. Off-court earnings, sponsorships, endorsement deals, media visibility revenue, and ranking-based incentives tell a different story. Men are still pulling ahead, even when women's tennis carries equal global appeal, groundbreaking rivalries, and generational superstars performing at levels that demand equal financial respect. When Coco spoke recently about the disparity in secondary earnings in tennis, she pointed to the inconvenient truth that wages outside of tournament paychecks do not reflect the same equality seen in Grand Slams. Coco Gauff cited the dominance of Alcaraz, Sinner, and the men's tennis world capturing a larger media payout pool, while the women who ignite headlines and sell out arenas still trail in endorsement-based ranking bonuses. And to emphasize the point, Coco didn't choose random names. She chose heavy-hitting, high-performing, globally recognized female players. She mentioned Aryna Sabalenka, known for her ferocious power and mental resilience. She highlighted Iga Swiatek, the reigning face of consistency and finesse in women's tennis, a player whose ability to maintain world number one dominance has transcended generational talent. And she also pointed to Jessica Pegula, a player who has carved her space among WTA elites, bringing grit, sponsorship value, and commercial appeal that goes unnoticed far less than her male counterparts. Coco Gauff's words have struck a chord because they expose a truth fans already sensed. Women's tennis is popular, exceptionally popular. Yet the financial model built around popularity remains imbalanced. The star system pays differently. The algorithm of visibility favors men. The brand deals tip their hats toward rival markets. But Coco Gauff has challenged the system directly. She said, and I'm paraphrasing here, "If women are entertaining the sport just as much, building rivalries just as legendary, performing just as exceptional under pressure, breaking records, going viral, filling media cycles, moving merchandise, inspiring global audiences, why should we have two different earning realities?" She didn't just question the gap. She called it unfair, outdated, and out of touch with the evolution of modern tennis audiences. Fans today don't tune into tennis because of tradition. They tune in because of personality, rivalry, brilliance, and emotional connection. And the women of the WTA are delivering all of that. Let's rewind for a moment and contextualize what Coco means when she references examples like Sabalenka, Swiatek, and Pegula. Let's talk impact. Aryna Sabalenka has been lighting up stadiums not just with her performance, but with her unapologetic personality. Whether she wins or loses, she trends. She carries influence. She moves engagement. Yet the earning structure built around influencer bonuses does not tip toward her demographic equally. Then there's Iga Swiatek, a player whose dominance should have triggered historic sponsorship indexing. She should be earning the maximum off-ranking payout bonuses year over year with her performance consistency alone. But even world number one status in women's tennis does not generate the same endorsement escalation that number one status does for men. And then Jessica Pegula, a top WTA finalist, commercial value-driven athlete, brand believer, and a player whose appeal at finals matches should have built endorsement momentum worth millions more in equivalents. Yet despite their brilliance, despite their global value, despite their magnetism on and off the court, Coco Gauff suggests that dominance or consistency does not reflect equally in commercial paychecks between genders. Coco's claim isn't built on emotion alone, although emotion is valid. It is based on observable commercial inequity in ranking-based incentive pools. The same ranking achievements pay differently when evaluated through media, merchandise, bonus payouts, and off-court revenue models. The reaction from fans has been loud and united. Some fans celebrated Coco's boldness, tweeting, "Finally someone said it!" Others echoed, "Coco is speaking for the players who can't!" And then came the storm of sports media coverage, debates on ESPN panels, Instagram quote graphics, TikTok response videos, Reddit threads dissecting every sentence she shared, and now even WTA players' supporters joining the broader equality conversation. Many people wonder why Coco Gauff, so young, so early in her own journey, so commercially successful herself even by secondary earnings at her age, would stand so boldly for something that doesn't hold her back personally. But that is exactly why this matters. She speaks not from limitation but from awareness. She speaks not from struggle but from insight. She speaks not for sympathy but for the sport she is shaping. And here's the deeper layer. The WTA Finals does not award equal prize money to men, that's already established. But the secondary point bonus structure, the visibility incentive system, the sponsorship indexing, the ranking-related bonuses from global tour organizers, and the media revenue pool evaluated based on ranking achievements reflect imbalance elsewhere. And Coco Gauff wants that imbalance fixed. Because the next question isn't about the points defended on a bracket, or the strengths of Sinner's forehand or Alcaraz's drop shot mastery. The question is about tennis's financial future. Equality isn't just tournament prize money. Equality is influence. Equality is incentive payouts. Equality is media revenue distribution. Equality is merchandise commission. Equality is sponsorship indexing deals. And the point Coco Gauff is making is that only one side of tennis seems to enjoy the accelerator of secondary financial ascension. Now let's talk impact beyond tennis. Because what Coco Gauff has done by dragging tennis ranking incentive pay gaps into headlines is this: she has bridged tennis with global equality conversations happening in soccer, basketball, athletics, and Olympic compensation models. She is pointing not just to the gender pay gap, but to fairness for athletes who build commercial value for their sport. Coco has said that tennis audiences are evolving. The younger generation watches sports differently. They aren't picking sides based on legacy or nationality, they are picking favorites based on relatability, transparency, personality, empowerment, influence, rivalry, and performance. Social media athletes are entertainment engines now. Coco happens to be one of them. If someone trends 20 times more than someone else, wins Grand Slam titles younger than most players ever did, carries influence perks, and brings commercial energy that fuels billions, those athletes should see equal bonus incentive attachment. And yet, Coco sees disparity. Let's talk about numbers for a moment, not WTA ranking points, but influence numbers. Think of Coco Gauff's brand value from the 2023 season. She won a hard-court swing, sped into the center of American tennis fame, lifted her first U.S. Open trophy, and grew secondary earnings that rival sporting legends twice her age. Gauff rose and doubt melted like pressure lifting from shoulders that once ached under expectation. But here's the twist. While she embraces pressure melting, she also sees someone else's weight not melting under rankings dominance, financial weight that isn't tied to tournament rewards, but incentive pooling beyond major finals. Coco Gauff stands strongly for a systemic upgrade. Now we're nearing the end of this 3,000-word report, and one thing stands clear: Coco didn't complain. She claimed. Loudly. Bravely. Unapologetically. And she spoke the language of every young athlete hungry for equality in platform rather than inequality in indexing. This conversation will continue. And Coco Gauff has opened the door for it. This is Trending Update USA. I'm Stefan. Thank you for hearing the story behind the headlines today, not segmented, not cut, not interrupted, but delivered start to finish. Have a great day.